एक अपने आप में मंजिल नहीं थी, एक जरिया था और उस जरिए का मैंने भरपूर फायदा उठाया. People should think that आपके पास एक्टिंग के अलावा किसी और चीज के लिए फोकस ही नहीं है. Don't have to be क्रांतिकारी, big, massive issues, but whatever it is. Women being targeted in certain places or women feeling unsafe. This whole Aarey issue is that the elected representatives have not taken a position. Hi, this is Gul Panag and you're watching Bollywood Hungama. Do subscribe and hit the like button.
We have with us an actress with a difference, Gul Panag. Pleasure having you back on Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you, thank you for
a long time.
After a long time.
All right, so I think it's fair to say that you're an actress with a difference. you like to do different things.
You know, I feel there are some things that happen by design and other things that happen by default. So there is some intent behind how things turn out, but a lot of it is also destiny.
Okay, so had you ever imagined that when you started off as an actress, that you'll become an activist, you get into politics, and you'd have this love for running marathon, you like to do a lot of the things?
The thing is, Faridoon, very early on, I was very clear that acting was one of the things I wanted to do. In fact, back in the day, in my early years in Bombay, people would say, "Ye sab mat bola karo. You should just say कि ज़िंदगी में acting is कुछ और है ही नहीं." And I'd be like, but how is that possible? How can human beings just do one thing? So for me, from the very beginning, it was very clear that acting was one of the things I wanted to do, and B, that it was also a means to an end. It wasn't an end in itself. एक अपने आप में मंजिल नहीं थी, एक जरिया था और उस जरिए का मैंने भरपूर फायदा उठाया.
So, are you happy with the journey that you've had so far?
I think Faridoon has been very fulfilling. I've been able to do everything that I wanted to do in my life, and there's a lot more that I want to do. But I have to give due credit to my being an actor here, because the acting profession has been the enabler for me to do all the different things that I want to do. It's a lot more special in terms of the way you're treated by other people when you go about trying to, say, be an entrepreneur. People just suddenly know you. I mean, the hardest part about being an entrepreneur is access. Nobody is able to, for people who are starting out with a great idea, the biggest challenge is that great idea never sees a day of light because you don't get to meet the right people. I can tell you that being an actor and being somebody who is slightly well known is an advantage, because investors will give you time, and people you want to meet for your work will give you time.
So you've always been well known. You've been on television. And
but my point was that I always saw, like I said earlier, acting as a means to a larger, bigger end, and that bigger end is living a full life, living a life where I can do all that I want to do, tick off all the bucket list items I have. And I think someone who likes to run, someone who believes in standing up and saying things as they are all part and parcel of your personality. You can't divorce them from who you are and say, but I'm only going to be an actor. So in the early days, I remember I signed a film with a very traditional commercial producer who went on to replace me later, but one of those small things that happened in the early days. And he asked me, so what are your interests? So I said, these many things. I like traveling, I like fitness, I like trekking. He said, ये सब किसी को मत बोलना. So I said, but why? He said, no, people should think that आपके पास acting के अलावा किसी और चीज के लिए focus ही नहीं है.
Consumed by acting.
So I kind of disagreed with that back then, and I'm glad I disagreed, because I've been able to live a much fuller life now because I've chosen to do everything that I wanted to do.
So what all have you ticked off on your bucket list?
Wow, that's a long one. So I think if you go in order of what the enablement that the acting profession does, first and foremost, it gives you access to people. But when I say access, I mean as a public figure. What you say will be heard and consumed by the average person, wherever your reach is. And through that, it puts on your shoulders a certain responsibility. That if you have the platform where people will listen to what you have to say, then you should ideally stand up and speak up on issues. And those issues don't have to be krantikari, big, massive issues, but whatever it is, whether it's cutting off trees in Aarey, or whether you feel that there is a sense of women being targeted in certain places, or women feeling unsafe, all of these things. I think these are issues that one should speak up for, because if you don't, then you're doing a disservice to the fact that God has been kind and He's given you this access and this platform. So I think that has been an opportunity that I have definitely taken up, and I've tried my level best at everything that has meant to me something, to be able to use my platform to speak up. And regarding travel and all, I think we're in a stage where people are happy to make you travel and give you hospitality and want to do that. So, I suppose the love for travel and the lust for travel got kind of ticked off because today, as we know, the influencer space is very well defined. But even before that, there were people who were interested in doing things. They always had folks reaching out to them and say, please come to us and be our tourism ambassador. Why don't you come and check out this property? So, or why don't you come and visit our country? So those sort of accesses have always been there for people who were there. But did everybody take them up? Probably not. Some people probably chose to sort of concentrate on work, and I figured I had a very clear filter about the kind of work I wanted to do. I wasn't doing that kind of work. I would be doing other things which I was able to do because of the access one got as an actor.
When you talk about the Save Aarey project, what are your views on the way it is being presented? Because there's some people who are giving us the good aspects about Metro. No one is disputing the benefits of Metro, but basically people are saying that don't cut 3,000 trees.
It's a tricky situation, Faridoon. One, because we're seeing the impact of climate change at a large scale across the world, at a micro scale around us. I mean, look at what happens to Bombay every monsoon. No one can't pinpoint and say it's because of cutting of trees or deforestation that's led to it happening. But it's definitely established beyond doubt that trees have a very big role to play in the microclimate of a city. And if we are going to get rid of those trees without a sustainable plan, then I feel there is a problem. The second concerning thing in this whole Aarey issue is that the elected representatives have not taken a position. So therefore they have abdicated the responsibility to their public, and it's activists and those public figures who feel strongly about it, who've spoken about it, who've said things. But the people who we elect, the MPs and the MLAs who are responsible to us in Mumbai, haven't actively taken forward the concerns of the citizens, because ultimately we are a representative democracy. So my MP or my LA must put forward my concerns. If they're not doing that, then they're doing a disservice. And that to me is a key issue in Aarey, that our elected representatives are not adequately putting forward our concerns. And if they would adequately put forward our concerns, I'm sure there is a middle path that can be found, because I definitely believe Metro will help in mobility of the average Mumbaiker, and we all suffer. There is not one person in Greater Mumbai who hasn't spent hours and hours and hours of his week just destroyed in traffic. So it is going to definitely benefit us, but we have to find a middle path, because we've seen the impact in other countries of rapid concretization of cities. And we should learn from them. While we should learn from first world cities in terms of their great mass rapid transportation systems, MRT systems as they're known, we should also see that they have made some huge mistakes in the process, and we should not make those same mistakes. But for me, the biggest issue as far as the Aarey matter is that our folks who are supposed to represent us in Vidhan Sabha, in Lok Sabha, have not adequately addressed our concerns. Hi, this is Gul Panag and you're watching Bollywood Hungama. Do subscribe and hit the like button.